Ella opened her eyes. The room was quiet. No sound. No voices. She looked at the window. The sky was grey. It was a cold morning. She sat up in bed. She put on her sweater. She walked to the kitchen. No one was there. No good morning. No smile. She made a cup of tea. The water was warm, but her heart felt cold. She looked at the calendar. She looked away. "It's just another day," she said. But it was not. Today was her birthday. She didn't tell anyone. No friends, no family nearby. Only her and the quiet. Ella sat by the window. She held her warm cup. Outside, people walked fast. Cars moved. Life moved. But her world was still. She touched her necklace, a small silver star. Her mom gave it to her years ago. "Happy birthday, Ella," she whispered to herself. Her voice was soft, almost too soft to hear. No one else said it. Not yet. Maybe not at all. Ella ate a piece of dry bread. No butter, no jam, just bread and tea. She looked at her phone. No messages, no calls, no happy birthday. She checked again. Still nothing. Her hands felt cold. "Maybe they forgot," she said. She tried to smile. It didn't work. She opened her laptop. She stared at the screen. She didn't want to work. She didn't want to do anything. She looked at old photos. One showed her at 5 years old. She had a big pink cake. There were balloons and candles. Her mom was smiling. Her dad was holding her hand. Ella touched the screen. She felt something in her chest, warm, and a little sad. "They used to care," she whispered. "Maybe they still do. Or maybe not." She closed the laptop. She looked at the clock. It was 3 p.m. The day felt long, empty, like a hallway with no doors. She lay on the couch. She covered herself with a blanket. She didn't want to cry, but her eyes were wet. "I'm okay," she said. "I'm used to it." But even she didn't believe it. The sun was low. The sky turned orange. Ella still lay on the couch. She stared at the ceiling. She listened to the silence. Her tea was cold now. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Ding dong. Ella sat up. Her heart jumped. No one ever came. She walked to the door. She looked through the peephole. A man in a brown jacket stood there. He held a box. "Delivery," he said. His voice was calm. Ella opened the door slowly. The box was big. It had a white ribbon. "Are you Ella Green?" the man asked. "Yes," she said. "Happy birthday," he smiled. "Someone sent you this." Ella took the box with both hands. It was light, but her arms felt weak. Not from the weight, from the surprise. "For me?" she asked. The man nodded. Then he left. Ella closed the door. She stood in the hallway, box in arms, heart beating fast. She looked at the top. A small card was taped there. It said, "To Ella, from home." Ella touched the words. Her fingers shook a little. She whispered, "From home." Then she smiled, just a little. She carried the box to the table. She sat down. She looked at it for a long time. She didn't open it right away. For the first time that day, she didn't feel alone. Ella slowly opened the box. Her hands were careful. Her heart was fast. Inside there were flowers, white lilies, her favorite, fresh, software sweet-smelling. She smiled. She hadn't seen lilies in a long time. Next to the flowers was a small white cake. Strawberry, pink and pretty. One candle sat on top. Just one. Ella laughed. It was a soft laugh, real. She found a card under the cake. It was handwritten. The paper smelled like home. The message read, "Dear Ella, you are never alone. We miss you every day. Love always finds you. Happy birthday. Mom and Dad." Ella covered her mouth. Tears came fast. Not from sadness, but from something full. "I didn't know you remembered," she whispered. "I thought you forgot." She held the flowers close. She smelled them. They smelled like summer. They smelled like being 5 again. She looked at the cake. One small candle. One big feeling. She got up. She walked to the kitchen. She took a match from the drawer. She lit the candle. The flame danced. So did her heart. Ella sat at the table. The candle burned quietly. The room felt warm. She looked around. It was still the same small room. But something had changed. The silence wasn't heavy now. It was soft, like a blanket. She looked at the flowers, then at the cake, then at the card again. She took a deep breath. She closed her eyes. She made a wish. It was a small wish, but a real one. She didn't say it out loud, but she smiled. Then she opened her eyes. She whispered, "This day is not empty. It's full." She stood up. She walked to the window. The sky was turning blue again. Evening light touched the walls. She picked up her phone. She took a photo of the cake and the flowers. She posted it online. "Best surprise ever, thank you." She added a little heart. A moment later, a message came in. "Mom, did you get the cake?" Then another, "Dad, call us when you can. We love you." Ella's eyes filled again, but this time she didn't cry. She laughed. She turned off the lights. Only the candle was left. One small flame, one big light. She sat back down. She whispered, "Love always finds you, even in a box."